we are going to make Tournedos Rossini, one of the most traditional classic French dishes that there really is. So Tournedos Rossini comes from Antoine Careme, who was actually friends with Rossini. Of course, Rossini is a well-known composer and artist, and they were living at the same time. So all of the components really come from Antoine Careme. However, the recipe itself really comes from Auguste Escoffier, who brought all of it together. So what a wonderful marriage between these two forefathers of Grande Cuisine. So here at Grande Cuisine, we are celebrating both of them by making Tournedos Rossini. If you like what we do and you like these recipes, please like and share our YouTube channel and come back for more. We have another video where we made a classic Espagnole sauce that we reduced to a demi-glace, and that is going to be used in this recipe. So let's get started. We're going to prep all of our items, and then we're going to go to the hearth, because the hearth is where we do all of our cooking, and we're going to prepare Tournedos Rossini. So first of all, I'm going to prepare the garniture. I have bread, and I'm going to slice my bread and just take some maybe 1/2 inch to maybe 3/4 inch slices and just cut those. And then I'm going to lay them, kind of make them a little rounder if I can. And then I'm going to go in with a biscuit cutter and I'm going to cut out a crouton. So this, once again, comes from Chef Escoffier, although, as we said, Antoine Careme really incorporated all of the items together for this dish. But if you read Escoffier, his cookbook, every single tournedos that he does has a bottom of a crouton, a bread crouton that is fried in butter. And so we are going to honor that by doing the same thing. It's really fun to go back and do these recipes that are much more traditional, that we don't see, because they really do become new once again. So there is our bread. We'll put that there. We'll get rid of those crumbs. And now the next thing I want to do is we're going to incorporate foie gras. Of course, goose liver. This is very classic French. Now, we're not getting into coxcomb and many of the other things, but this is probably one of our more very traditional classic French meals where you would say, oh my gosh, but we're gonna do it. So this is goose liver, and we're gonna dredge it in flour. So I'm simply going to dredge my, they're really lardons of goose liver in flour and get them ready, because we're also going to fry them in butter. So this comes from the saute station where this would be made in a classic French kitchen. So there we go, is our goose liver that is dredged in flour. We can sprinkle a little bit of salt over and a little bit of pepper, just for a little added flavor. And then we will take that and we will do the same with our tournedos. So we have some beautiful tournedos. I'm going to take some beautiful French fleur de sel, and I'm going to sprinkle that, and I'm going to add some freshly ground pepper to that. And then we'll flip those over. As we say in the Grande Cuisine, we try and cook exactly as this would have been prepared originally. So we are doing it exactly as Marie-Antoine Careme or Auguste Escoffier would have directed it in his or their kitchen. So we're ready. We have our crouton, we have our goose liver, we have our tournedos seasoned, butter, we have some Madeira, and then we're going to add in our demi-glace, and it's time to go to the hearth and start some cooking. All right, so we are ready. We have a very, very hot pan, and we're adding butter to it. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to add in, we're going to put our pan on our fire, and then we're going to add our tournedos to our pan. Wow, listen to that sizzle. Beautiful. There we go. And we want to cook these about medium rare. So we're going to let these sizzle on one side, and then we're going to go ahead and make our sauce right in our pan. So we're just going to let these cook. We've got a real nice hot fire here. So this really won't take too long because it is in a very nice searing heat. As you can see, we've got the embers directly underneath. We've got lots of nice heat. Make sure you use a heavy pan. I'm very lucky that I have some nice copper pans, but make sure you use very, very heavy pans to cook these items. So you can move the steaks around just a little bit. I would cook them maybe 3 or 4 minutes on the first side, maybe even as much as 6 minutes on the first side, and then I would turn them over and allow them to finish cooking on the second side. This really doesn't take very long. This is a pretty quick operation. So I'll let them heat up very nicely. Love to hear that sizzle. Love that wonderful smell. So we can see that we're getting some nice caramelization on the bottom of our steak. Push that into the heat just a little bit more. So that really is the way that you control the heat in the hearth, is by pulling it in and out of the heat, taking it off the heat. Having a trivet outside to kind of having a place to land is very helpful to help regulate the heat for you. Also just somewhere so you can put your pan so that you can maneuver it. So I think we're going to go ahead and turn these over. There we go. You can see just beautiful color there. So I'm going to knock this. There we go. I'm going to knock this one piece down underneath our pan here. Utilize that heat. Let those cook. Oh, they just look fantastic. And then this sauce that we make is super easy. It goes very quickly with the demi-glace already made. And then we will very quickly fry our goose liver and fry our toast croutons. So I'm going to go ahead. I've got a rack over to the side I'm going to go ahead and move these to my rack, and they're going to get some residual heat from our hearth, and they will continue to cook while I prepare the sauce. And so I'm going to deglaze the pan with some Madeira. All right, so now we're going to add the Madeira and deglaze our pan a little bit. There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to add in our demi-glace. And let that cook. Let that warm up. There we go. Let that begin to simmer just a little bit. And that should very quickly simmer up for us. And then we're going to add our steaks back into that fantastic sauce. All right. So we'll add our steaks back in. Let that cook for just a second. And there's our beautiful Tournedos Rossini steaks cooking. So in the meantime, I'm going to get my pan ready to do my croutons. So I'm going to put this over to the side. I'm going to put my pan on for my croutons. I'm going to melt my butter for my croutons and my foie gras. Give it a little bit of heat. And let that melt. All right, so our butter has melted nicely, and so now we're going to put in our croutons and toast those. And we're also going to put in our lardons of our foie gras and just let that cook right over our fire. Let those toast up a bit, brown up a bit. We can stoke that heat just a little bit so that we've got some nice intense heat under that pan. The croutons, of course, will cook rather quickly. All right, so we're going to go ahead. Let's turn our croutons over. They are toasting nicely. And we'll give our foie gras just a minute longer. And we'll begin to turn those over as well. So, what a great, wonderful way to prepare a very, very classic French dish. Of course, you know, we can't really imitate the extensively large fireplaces that Antoine Careme would have cooked on in the noble houses of the Rothschilds or the future King George IV, or many of the other people that he was commissioned as a chef. There we go. But this gives us a wonderful historical perspective on how cooking was done before the advent of stoves and other incredible conveniences. So, we're going to finish this and then we're going to put this together. Now we're going to go ahead and put together our Tournedos Rossini. We've already put our Tournedos on our crouton and we've added our foie gras on top. So I'm going to go and I'm going to add our demi-glace. Now this is traditionally placed on a platter like we're doing it. So we're going to put it on the platter just like this. And we're going to put just a little bit of sauce down each Tournedos, like that. We're going to top it with a little bit of butter, a little bit of truffle, like that. And then we're going to add some vegetables that are cut in the classic tourne shape. Some potatoes and some zucchini. And this is literally as classic as it gets. So here is our wonderful Tournedos Rossini, ready to go. A beautiful classic presentation. Thank you so much, Grand Cuisine. Please like and share us. Please come back for many more hearth created recipes.